Tori, did you hear that there's a new Star Wars movie coming out?
Yes, my sister's boyfriend Drew. You guys remember Drew? He really likes Star Wars. He's told me quite a bit about it.
Oh, what do you know about it?
Just that he's excited. That's all I know.
Did you know that Luke, I am your father?
Bree, it's the biggest cinematic reveal of all time.
My goodness gracious, but everybody should know that because Vader in Latin means father.
Well, it means dark father.
It means dark father. Like what?
Yeah, literally.
But, like literally
that's
you
your
should have
guys'
known that.
fault for not knowing Latin, the dead language. Come on.
Let's go. Get it together.
What? Bree, I don't even think I want to see this new Star Wars movie.
Why? It's supposed to be the best movie of all time.
Well, because it's probably not even going to be as good as the other one.
Well, you know what? I think you're wrong.
Well, maybe we should take this to people who can help us figure this out.
Like a judge or our mock trial team.
Ooh, what does mock trial do?
Who knows? If you get in front of a judge and stuff.
Did someone tell us what it was?
Yeah, we had like a whole interview about it.
Oh my gosh!
With Mr. Elias, who would guess?
The gym teacher, Mr.
Gym
Elias.
teacher,
I mean,
Mr.
PE.
Elias. Oh, PE.
Physical education teacher, Mr. Elias.
Yeah. So we should go check out the interview.
Wow, that sounds really cool.
Go check it out.
Hi, I'm Tanisha Martinez here with Mr. Elias talking about the mock trial. Hi, Mr. Elias.
Hi, Tanisha. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. All right, so what is the mock trial? What is it all about?
Mock trial is a club for students here at the school to take part in which we participate in a statewide competition at the Montgomery County Courthouse that happens in early February. But in the meantime, we practice and we rehearse and we study the case, and it's a case published by the state of Pennsylvania for all participants in the high school in Pennsylvania to look at the same case.
Okay. You keep mentioning up case. Like, what are you guys talking about? Is it just...
It's law. So it's a law case of some sort. Mock trial, like a fake or mock trial. Yeah. So the case has it's online at the PA Bar website, and it has it's like 70 pages, and it has every aspect of a case that would, of a real law case, whether it be a criminal or civil law case. And this year's a civil law case, but it has all the aspects of the jury instructions and the law, applicable law, and all other parts that would actually be included in a real court case. This one is a mock court case.
Okay. So you said this year's a civil mock trial. Is that just all year round civil?
It's one case this year, every year. It's one case, and this happens to be criminal cases are either civil or criminal. Like if I did wrongdoing to you, I murdered you tonight, the police would find me, and I would be charged criminally for murder. Let's just say you were on my property, and you were walking around one day, and you were doing something bizarre on my property that isn't within the realms of my homeowner's insurance or something, and you hurt yourself. You would then collect the money from my homeowner's insurance, but then my homeowner's insurance might say, wait a minute, we don't have to pay this claim, and here's why. That's a civil case. There's nothing criminal about it. You wouldn't go to jail or anything like that.
Okay.
So it's to justify, kind of, in this case, who would pay for something. Our case this year is a criminal case, a civil case in which someone flew what are those little, a drone? They flew a drone. It freaked out a horse that someone was riding. The horse kicked the person off, and the person's now permanently handicapped, permanently paralyzed. So the insurance company paid for the $2.5 million for this person's suit, and then the insurance company looked at it and said, wait a minute, we're not responsible for paying this. So they're going after the person who actually may have committed the action so that they aren't responsible for the $2.5 million.
Okay. And which side is your team on, or do you guys practice both?
We do both. So we practice both, and we do both, and we go to court twice. So when we go to court, one time we'll be the prosecution, or in this case, since it's a civil case, it's a plaintiff, and the other side is the defendant. Sometimes we go once in the same day, and we have two competitions that are about an hour and a half, 2 hours, or we'll go two different times, and again, that's in February, the beginning of February.
Okay. Where do you guys go for this?
We go to the Montgomery County Courthouse. So does everybody in Montgomery County. We're set up, there's somebody who runs it for Montgomery County and all the other districts in the state and counties. Some aren't just counties because some counties in the state don't have enough high schools to compete. So our county is obviously very populated. Everybody from Upper Dublin to North Penn to private schools. Anybody in Pennsylvania school systems are allowed to be part of it. You sign up. and it goes from there.
Okay, so there's a lot of people definitely involved, and it can go either way. Do you guys, like, is it just a school versus school, or is it just groups of a school?
No, it's school versus school, like any other, like an athletic competition. It is school versus school. Each school gets to participate on each side of the case one time, and you move on. So you move on from your local competition at Montgomery County. You would move on to whatever would be next, eventually leading to like a state champion, and then the state champions actually compete, and it continues. It could go all the way to May and June for national champions and stuff, which is very impressive. Those that compete at that and that succeed at that are very talented young people that certainly have bright futures. The way to move on, though, is you have to win both of your cases.
Okay.
So there's a score sheet, there's judges. The judges are typically made up of lawyers that need to do some kind of post, once you get a job, you have to continue doing some volunteer work and other things. So the jury's made up of lawyers and witnesses. I should say, not witnesses. The jury is made up of lawyers and people that might work in their office, like paraprofessionals and other things like that use a score sheet. And so it's not just, did we do a better job of articulating the case than the other school? There's a lot of other things that go into it. So there's a score sheet. They filed a score sheet based on points. One team wins, one team loses. And if you win both of them, you advance.
Okay. This sounds all pretty intricate and like very professional. How do you guys prep for this?
We spend a lot of time. We started last week. We spend 2-3 days a week after school. As we get closer, maybe sometimes 4 days a week. And maybe we use a half day, and we'll have from 11 o'clock on. And you have to read. You have to read the case. You have to read the witness statements, the case summary, and you have to have a general understanding of the law. A general understanding of the law helps you to realize what you're going after here. It's not so much an argument about, we don't owe you money, it's just, but following the law and the etiquette of the law and speaking about it. So a lot's to be learned. I try to get kids that take law classes here or forensics and things like that. They might have a kind of a general interest in that kind of stuff. But I do struggle maybe getting enough people and people that are interested. Perhaps this interview should happen in September to help promote. And we could recruit people. But you would be great at this. Looking around this terrific studio, there's many intelligent kids that would be great at it. I just don't think we get, maybe kids aren't as aware of it, or they do other things, so they're busy with it. But it's a smart thing for smart people, or people that aren't that smart to get smarter. You learn new words, you learn new things about law, and I find it very interesting. Yeah. So this is like my 6th year doing it, and the cases, I kind of remember all of them a little bit, and they're kind of all fascinating, and you definitely learn a little bit.
Cool. And you keep saying how you kind of struggle to get people. Well, how do you sign up for the
Come
mock trial?
see me at any time.
Anytime,
anywhere, except at my home, please. At school here, you could see me in the gym. You can ask me after school at any time. We meet in the health room, room 238. You can come by when there's a meeting. You can ask one of the kids that might be involved. You could go to the administrator. You could ask Mike Berkowitz. You could ask anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to add as to how the trials work and how how this prepares students for just law?
Yeah, sure. No, it's I think the best way to help students is in public speaking. It gives you, if you could imagine yourself being in an actual courtroom. I should have added that there's an actual judge. He volunteers his time. Yep, he wears the robe, the whole bit. And Montgomery County Courthouse is a prestigious place, and it looks the part. Some courtrooms are more immaculate than others. Some are pretty calm and not as, it's a neat room if you've never seen one. So that can be a little daunting, having adults like lawyers look at you and judge you and score you. That can be a little daunting, but the kids get up, and typically with no papers in front of them, and they speak. It's really, really impressive. So I think the biggest skill is public speaking, and some kids might get over some of their fears. I have a kid now, he's a junior in college, and he's very successful. He goes to Drexel, and he told his sister, I should add this, that the reason he's outgoing and he's the way he is now is because of mock trial.
Yeah, so it definitely has some great positive, feedback. And you said that they have to do public speaking in front of all the lawyers and everything. Do you guys have like a separate preparatory for that, or is there like a way to help them? Like, okay, I can do this, and even though I'm in front of all these like professional people.
No, it's I think it's just in the kid's character, whether they can handle it or not. I've had kids not really be able to handle it, and it's tough. There's different roles. You're either a witness or a lawyer, so the lawyers do more speaking and more walking around in front of the courtroom. The witnesses have to sit there, but that could also feel, you can feel a lot of pressure from that because you're being looked at by everybody. You know, I don't know if there's any, we practice in the classroom, but there's nothing that can emulate the same thing as having people sit in you know, the chambers and sit in the seats behind you and sit in the jury box and sit, there's timekeepers, there's people flashing cards in front of you that say you have 2 minutes left, that kind of thing. So nothing can mimic it really, but I think a year of practice, a year of seeing it and doing it, and then the years after, somebody would be far more comfortable.
Okay. So it can be a little scary and intimidating. However, overall mock trial is it sounds really interesting, really, because you get to have, you get to see a little bit of how the law works and everything in certain cases. And by your other student who's now a junior, it's definitely doing some good stuff for him. And could you tell me again when and where the, like your big trial is? Montgomery
County Courthouse, and it is typically in the first week or second week of February. That gets published. They have a frame of about 2 weeks in which that the competitions will happen. And it's tough to schedule, and of course you have your snow days and things like that, so it always becomes hectic. But they're published on the PA Bar website. The schedule will be on the PA Bar website. And it's so, you know, we practice now. The case just came out November 6th. So you have December, January, February. You have about 3 months to practice to prepare for the case. And again, it's sometime between February 1st and Valentine's Day. It's at Montgomery County Courthouse, and there's so many courtrooms there, so it's in one, somewhere between A, G, C, and 1 and 5. There's about 20, probably more than 20 courtrooms. And you get assigned, you go in, and we get all dressed up, and the kids look sharp, and they go strut their stuff, and it's pretty impressive for sure.
Sounds good. And kids can still sign up, right? Or
yeah, we need 12 people. There's 6 for each side at a minimum. Having extras or backups, much like a theater presentation, would be ideal. At this point, we have like 8, 9 kids, so getting.
A few more.
Oh yeah, and if we had extras like 15 and 4 or 5 were freshmen and they weren't as familiar, it could be a good year just to kind of learn and wait in the wings, and then go to the courthouse and see it, and then maybe next year they'd actually want to be more of a participant.
Right. Well, all sounds extremely interesting, really, and I really hope that you can get more people and really get to nationals or something like that.
That would be wonderful, Tanisha. Thank you.
Have you guys ever gotten to nationals?
No, we haven't won 2, so we haven't advanced yet.
Okay.
It's really, it's not really hard. I think we're really close, and our competitions are close, but it isn't. It's not the easiest thing. Okay. So it would take a while to do that, and who knows?
Yeah, maybe this will be the year. Maybe
this will be the year.
All right. Well, thank you so much for talking with us, Elias.
Thank you.
So I'm Tanisha Martinez here talking to Mr. Elias about the mock trial, and now back to the rest of Eagle's Eye.